Welcome back to Trending. Now let's go to tech.
Aris, powering your digital world.
Welcome back. From one of the most important acquisitions in Israel's history and all over the world to the rise of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. There were a lot of big stories in the world of tech this year, and here to take us back through it all is our tech expert, Dr. Vili Abraham. Thank you so much for joining me, Vili.
It's a pleasure.
You have so much to talk about at the moment. Now let's start with Intel's history-making acquisitions of Mobileye. Go for it.
Okay, so first of all, I have to say that this year we've seen a 110% increase in the value of acquisitions of Israeli companies that have been purchased, which is a significant number, and not take into consideration the acquisition of Mobileye itself. So the partnership came because, first of all, the companies complement each other. Mobileye has the computer vision, and Intel has the technologies for autonomous driving vehicles. The relationship has brought a lot of opportunities or opened a lot of doors for Intel, for example, relationships with a lot of automakers, and it also made it an attract or allowed it to show the market that it has a unique value proposition, meaning that now it has some competitive advantage over other rivalries.
Amazing. And Israel's device regarding diabetes, this was a huge one. I've got a lot of friends who have diabetes who heard about this and were mind blown.
Yeah, well, you know, there are 415 million people around the world who suffer from diabetes, and unfortunately, every 6 seconds, one dies, unfortunately. Now, managing the disease it requires you to prick your finger all the time, and that's why this company, this Israeli company, came up with a device which is non-invasive, and it takes only 40 seconds to test your sugar levels. And it's really done by inserting your finger into a thing that looks like a box, a device that looks like a box. It closes, it has a camera and algorithms, and it can just measure or see the color of your finger and correlate it with the level of sugar in your body. And that's why it knows that, for example, if this is your tone now, then your level of sugar has increased or decreased.
That's extraordinary.
It is extraordinary, and this information can be sent to your clinic so your doctor can give you feedback on the problem. So non-invasive, no pricking, and really convenient.
No pricking, that's the highlight of it all.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm not scared of injections, but that little fingerprint is actually terrifying.
It is terrifying and really unpleasant to say the least.
Absolutely. Now, there's also been some improvements and some advancements in the world, not only for diabetes, but also for the visually impaired. Yeah. We've had a lot of breakthroughs in that this year. Talk to me about what's happened to the tech world in regards to vision.
Okay, so there's an Israeli company called Right Here, here spelled H-E-A-R, and it's really a technology that allows the visually impaired to navigate, if you will, in malls, in hospitals, or in universities. And this is how it works. There are small devices that are called beacons spread throughout the mall or throughout the university. And what they do is they transmit text. Text into voice. So it means that if a person just is in the mall and passes by a store, then he gets a message, this store is open from 9 to 5, or 100 meters from here, there is a bathroom. And it's also connected to ride-hailing companies like Get Taxi. So if you want a cab, the driver knows where to pick you up. Instead of you having to look for him, he knows where to pick you up. So I think it's really amazing.
Well, we're seeing it being demonstrated on the screen behind us right now. And
yeah, these are the beacons.
Amazing. It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, they're really impressive. They're small. They're not very expensive. The app is free for the users, and the mall or the institution pays a certain amount for the service, but not really expensive.
That's great.
Yeah.
And the Israeli company that is extracting water from air. Now, tell me about that, because that just sounds far too confusing for my liking.
Okay, what it does is, first of all, it's a generator, okay, that takes humidity and turns it into water. In fact, it can produce 3,100 liters of water a day, and it costs only 10 cents per gallon, so it's really cheap. Now, it might sound science fictional, but in fact, there's a technology which is called nanotechnology, and this technology allows you to manipulate molecules or atoms. And why am I saying this? I'm saying this because today you can create water from humidity, but in the future, scientists will be able to create diamonds from carbon in the air. Machines will be able to collect the carbons in the air, the atoms, gather
and create
them
diamonds.
and create diamonds.
Well, let's hurry up and get a move on with that one. Because I think every girl in the world wants a few more diamonds around.
Of course,
so.
and they'll produce really cheaply. And now it was pilot tested in Florida for two reasons. First of all, because of the hurricanes, the water reservoirs are contaminated, and because there are some counties in Florida which suffer from drought, and that's why it was tested there. By the way, the company signed a $150 million agreement with two countries, India and Vietnam, which have drought.
Amazing. Now, just quickly, something else which I also find very confusing, but the world is obsessed with, and that's cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, all the other coins out there. Talk to me about them.
Okay, so first of all, Bitcoin was worth $1,000 at the beginning of the year. It reached the high of $19,800 just a few weeks ago. And today, well, I checked last night at 9 o'clock, it was $13,547. So it's really volatile, but it looks like it's catching on, meaning there are some places where you can order pizza with Bitcoins. eBay is saying that it's considering accepting Bitcoin, and you can even buy Microsoft products with Bitcoin. So all in all, although it's jumping and it's increasing and increasing all the time, but overall there's an increasing trend. And according to some experts, it might be worth between $40,000 to $60,000 next year.
Amazing. Well, let's look at hopefully we can invest in some of them before that even happens.
Oh,
so
yes,
we've all been very rich people. Billy, thank you so much for joining us.
Eris, powering your digital world.
Coming up next, Israel's biggest movies that made headlines in 2017. Our culture correspondent Daniel Campos will be here in the studio to look back at it all.